Clean water. Living things need clean water. People, plants and animals all need supply of clean water to stay healthy. Dirty water can cause diseases that affect living organisms. We also call dirty water polluted water. Many South Africans who live in rural areas or informal settlements in towns and cities do not have a supply of clean, safe drinking water from pipes and taps. People often have to walk long distances every day to fetch water from the nearest river or dam. The water may contain germs. These germs can make people sick with diseases such as cholera and diarrhea carried in the water. People can die from these diseases. Processes to clean water. There are different processes to make water clean. Not all of these processes make the water clean enough so that it is safe to drink. One of the processes is sieving. You can remove large bits of material as well as objects such as insects, small stones, and pieces of leaves and twigs by using a sieve. This is called insoluble dirt. Pour the water through the sieve. The large materials and objects stay in the sieve because they are too big to pass through it. The water flows through the sieve. You must put a container under the sieve to collect the water. This process will not get rid of germs in the water. They are too small and slip through the sieve. Filtering. After you have sieved the water, you can make it cleaner by filtering it. You can filter out small particles of sand and smaller bits such as leaves and twigs by pouring the water through filter paper or a cloth. Remember, this will still not get rid of the germs. Settling and decanting. If you put water into a container and leave it for about an hour, solid materials in the water will settle at the bottom of the container. If you carefully pour off the clear water from the container into another container, the solids stay behind. This is called decanting. You cannot remove all the solids from the water. This way, as very tiny particles will stay in the water and will not settle on the bottom of the container. Settling and decanting cannot remove germs from the water. So, you basically had 3 ways of removing insoluble dirt from the water. The one was sieving, the other filtering, and settling and decanting. Remember, even if you have removed all the insoluble dirt, the dirt that is visible, you still have to remove the soluble dirt, dirt which you cannot see, like germs, liquids that have dissolved in the water, poisons, chemicals. So, you still have to do the second process. The second process would be either boiling. You boil the water for 15 minutes. This will kill the germs. Then allow the water to cool. Cover the water with a clean cloth. Adding chemicals. You can either boil it or add chemicals. You can add chlorine to the water to make it cleaner. Chlorine is a chemical that kills most germs. The easiest way to do this is to add pure bleach to the water. Bleach contains chlorine. Mix a teaspoon or 5 ml of bleach in 25-liter container of water. Then cover the water with a clean cloth. Let it stand for at least 2 hours before you use it. There are also water purification tablets that contain chlorine or iodine, but these are very expensive. If you do not have filter paper, you can make a sand filter. So we are going to learn how to make a sand filter. To make a sand filter at home, you will need the following: an empty 2-liter cold drink bottle, some cotton wool, small pebbles, coarse sand or rough sand like river sand, fine sand like building sand, or ordinary sand from your garden. Method: cut the cold drink bottle in half and invert the top of the bottle into the other half of the bottle, like you see in the diagram here. Plug the bottleneck with cotton wool. Do this so that it is firm. Add the fine sand or building sand from your building sand or sand from your garden. Then add coarse sand like river sand. Then add the pebbles to the top. Make a beaker of muddy water and pour it into the sand filter. When you cut the bottle, please ask an adult to help you cut the bottle. Let's go to our diagram. There is a diagram on how to make a sand filter. So you cut the bottle in half, you put the top, invert it into the bottom. Then you have a cotton wool plug, and then you put in your fine sand, and then your coarse sand, and then your pebbles or your stones, and then you pour in your dirty water. What you will collect in the bottom here would be your clear water, but not your clean water. So, how will you clean this water to make it suitable to drink? You will either have to boil it or you will have to chlorinate it. That means you must put bleach or chlorine into the water. We get our water from the municipality. Municipal water is piped to our homes, and to people in certain areas they have a stand and the water is sent to that area. So therefore it is called a standpipe. Okay, in a community. This water is purified. This means that chemicals have been added to it to kill harmful germs. Water from rivers and dams is often muddy and it can contain germs and other organisms that cause diseases. The water must be clean and treated to destroy any germs that may be in it. To clean water from rivers and dams, we must first filter it. Let us look at how municipalities clean water. Municipal water must be cleaned before we use it. Right. Look at the diagram below. It shows how we get clean water in our homes. So we have a dam. We take river water is dam. So we have a dam, like for us we have the Vaal Dam, and water is collected into the dam. Then water is pumped from the dam and then it is purified. So let's start first there. Water is pumped from the dam. Then water passes through the primary grid. The primary grid is just like a sieve. The grid sieves the water and removes large objects such as leaves, branches, and rubbish. Then it goes to a settlement tank. In a settlement tank, solid matter like soil and small stones and water settle to the bottom. Then it goes to a filter bed. The filter bed is exactly like the sand filter that we have there. After the filter bed, the water is pumped to a chlorination tank. At the chlorination tank, chlorine is added to the water to kill the germs. Then the water is pumped to a reservoir. From the reservoir, the water is piped to our homes, schools, and shopping centers. Now, remember that when the water is being purified, when it reaches the chlorination tank, that water must be in closed pipes. Therefore, your reservoir is always sealed and is always high up on a mountain so that the water is sent down to the homes by the force of gravity. These are all the stages in your water treatment by your municipality. Now, maybe some of you don't know this, but our water is recycled. So, water that we use every day is reused. So, water we use is cleaned and reused. That means it is recycled. Municipal water is reused. Dirty water from our houses goes down the drain. From the drain, the water goes into large pipes called the sewer to the water treatment plant. There, all the processes shown in the previous diagram clean it again. Then the water can be reused safely. Now, when we say our water is recycled, that means all the sewage water goes to the recycling plant. In the recycling plant, the sewage is removed and the water is pushed back into the river. From the river, it goes to the dam, and then the entire process starts again where the water is purified. Therefore, we say that the water is recycled. Okay, let us do this together. Explain how municipal water is cleaned. Where does the water come from originally? It can come from rivers, it can come from rain, and it can come from the sewers. Identify the processes used to clean water. So we have the primary grid, we have the settlement tank, we have the filtration bed, then we have the chlorination tank, and then it is sent to the reservoir. How is water stored in a town? In a reservoir. Who do you think pays for the water to be collected, cleaned, stored, and piped to homes? We as citizens of a certain area will pay the municipality. The municipality is responsible for collecting, cleaning, storing, and piping water to our homes. Sand filter. The filter bed in the municipal water purification process is a sand filter. You learnt about the sand filter. I showed you a picture of how to make a simple one. Sand filters clean water by filtering out solid particles. They also remove some bacteria. Sand filters clean water in a similar way to a wetland. Look at the drawing of a sand filter. There's gravel at the bottom of the filter filters out large particles. The coarse sand removes smaller particles. The fine sand filters out very small particles and some very tiny organisms such as bacteria. Filtered water should still be boiled or treated with bleach to make sure that all the germs have been killed. Now remember, when you are purifying water, it can either be filtered, or it can be sieved, or it can be decanted. But when you do that, you are only removing the insoluble dirt. That means the soluble dirt and the germs still have to be removed. And how would you do that? You will either boil it or you will add chlorine or bleach. That is how we learn about how to clean water.